Hi, I'm Chrissy B and my show is all about improving your mental health and being happy. Join me every Monday, Wednesday and Friday at 10 p.m. on my channel Sky 203. Visit chrissybshow.tv for more information and subscribe to our YouTube channel Chrissy B Show. You can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Chrissy B Show and on our Facebook page, The Chrissy B Show. Welcome back to today's show, where we are learning all about the condition of hoarding. And just before the break, we met Everett Clark, whose family members have a hoarding disorder, and he shared with us what it was like for him growing up in that environment and how it affected him as well. And before we meet our next guest, let's take a look at what it's like living with a hoarding problem.
Hi, I'm Heather.
Yeah.
You Abby?
Yeah.
Can I come in?
Yeah.
If you go back, then I'll follow you, shall I?
Yeah.
I'll be really careful. Right. Okay then. So, tell me a little bit about sort of how long you've lived here.
I was so pleased. First space I've ever had of my own.
Right. And how long ago was that?
Maybe I've been here at least 10 years.
10 years?
Maybe.
Okay.
Sorry about this.
Oh dear.
And then everything started to fall apart. And
anything that you think's good enough for charity shop or anything like that?
what are you putting there?
No, it's just a piece of paper. Look, just
Oh yeah, rubbish.
yeah,
Sorry.
that's rubbish.
What's in the bottom?
It's a bottle.
Oh God, this is really hard. Why is it so difficult?
I think I can help her. I've got to have a go and I've got to try and do something for her. All that you can hold, you can keep, but once you've got past that, you can't have any more. What's this? Have another look back through those and just say, do I really need them? We have now got through to carpet, which I don't know the last time it saw a bit of air.
It felt like I was reclaiming my flat very slowly. I can't give away the great escape, sorry. Just feeling hope, which I haven't felt for a very long time.
You just know that somebody's going to get where they want to go because she hasn't made any excuses. She'll get there.
I guess I'd like my home to be welcoming and be able to invite people around to eat and friends.
And we're joined by the founder of Cloudsend CIC, Heather Matuoso, via Skype. Hello, Heather.
Hi.
Thanks so much for that video. It was really interesting to watch, and so good that we see.
Thanks to Abby as well.
Oh, I'm glad to see that Abby's getting help with that. Now, tell us about the organisation. How did it all come about?
It all started with me being a professional organiser initially. And I did that for a couple of years. And then one day was asked by a charity, Action for Children, if I could help a lady whose children had actually been taken away from the family home because the home was unfit for them to stay there any longer.
Wow.
And they said, can you help? And I said, I don't know, I'd really like to try. And so they went away and looked for some funding, and I went away and read even more books, but this time it was books about hoarding, which all of them came from the US, so I'm very grateful to them. Okay. And I started working with this lady and learned a huge amount from her as well. And whilst working with her, started to realise there was a huge need that was not filled. And when I started asking councils and housing associations and people who were social landlords if they had similar problems, the answer was yes. And then if I asked what they did, they said, well, the only thing we ever really do is throw everything away and start again.
Oh,
and I
wow.
said, which is brutal, but that was all they sort of had at their disposal, if you like. And so I decided to start Cloudsend to attempt to fill that gap, and still am doing that.
Okay.
So,
How's it going, Heather?
it's going really well. I started Cloudsend. Well, I founded Cloudsend in 2009, and it's still there and carrying on. And I do lots of one-to-one work, which is my favourite. But I also do a lot of staff training, which allows me to sort of pass the message on, which is what I really want to do, is raise awareness around the condition, because I think that's the most important thing. If you understand or try to understand what's happening to somebody, then I think you have a much better chance of being able to help them.
Now, Heather, we also have our resident psychologist here, Dr Audrey Tang. So Audrey, obviously a great initiative, because there people really do need help in this country as well. What do you think of what Heather's doing?
Well, Heather's the right sort of person to be doing it, because she takes the trouble to understand the situation, and you're absolutely right in saying if you learn a little bit more about the person and why they form those attachments, that's the only way you can actually find that breakthrough to help someone.
Yeah.
I mean, Heather, have you noticed that people have a turning point when they actually begin to accept help? Do you notice that?
I think there are maybe two turning points. I think the first one is if people actually ask for help themselves.
Yeah.
And to me, that's already half the battle.
Yeah.
But then the next turning point is when people stop talking about their belongings and start talking about the other things in their life.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they say, oh, I was thinking about I might go on holiday, or I might do a course, or things like that. Their body language alters. They sort of more open-bodied and more upright, and that's my favourite kind of. That's what I love.
That's lovely. Now, Heather, I was reading up before about you, and it says that you think it's important to make it fun as well. How do you actually do that?
I don't know. I certainly don't go in going, come on, it's going to be fun, we're going to make it fun. But most people have a really good sense of humour, luckily.
Yeah.
So I'm hunting for that, first of all. And I think if you can establish some common bonds, or anything really, anything that you can then have a laugh about. So that's what I was doing with Abby when I said, you know, all you can hold, you can keep, and all things like that. None of those are rules, or none of those are real.
Yeah.
They're just, she understood that that's how we worked, and that's how we sort of got on with each other, and that's what I do. That's
That's brilliant. You must love your job.
I do love it. I think I'm one of those lucky people that's found something that they just, I don't even think about. People talk about retiring, and I think, you know, I don't think I'd like to retire. Not yet, anyway.
Oh, it's lovely because you're helping people and you're doing something that, you know, really gives you that kind of satisfaction as well. I think it's brilliant.
And it just make me happy. So, you
Yeah.
know, it's a two-way street, really.
Yeah. Just a final question, Heather, regarding sort of family members and how they can help. From what you've seen and what you've experienced, what's the best thing family members can do?
I think family members sort of need training themselves. That sounds awful, but in the sense that they need to understand that it isn't a personal thing against them.
Okay.
They're also fighting with their fears, because they're worried that their loved one is in trouble, and they also maybe fear that it might happen to them, and they don't know what the future holds. And I think if they can just listen to what their loved one's saying to them, and even if it seems utterly ridiculous, if they just say, please just sit with me while I go through these things, because you being there will make me do it, then so be it. And stop the itchy fingers and don't roll your sleeves up. And it's hard, it's really hard.
I can imagine.
But I think that's how you do it.
All right, Heather, it's been absolutely lovely speaking to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It's
Thank
a pleasure.
you.
It was mine too. Thank you.
So Audrey, but just staying on the point of family members, you were mentioning something quite interesting to me before about how sometimes families can even kind of be separated because they haven't been around for a while and stuff like that.
And then that can be where the attachment to objects manifests or gets stronger because the family's no longer around, and so that's the closest thing that person has to remember them or to think about them. One thing that Heather said that was very important is she works to empower people, and the problem with family members is there is that feeling of, oh great, they've gone for help, we're all going to clear everything out, and in this weekend we're going to chuck everything out today. And that's not actually going to help them, because if a relationship's broken down, it needs time to rebuild. If someone is coming to terms with really getting rid of 10, 12, 20 years of possessions, it can't be done in a weekend. I mean, I understand how frustrating it will have been for Everett, and that's why he sent his mum away and then they cleared the house. And rightly, when in his reflection, he was saying that she does have trouble trusting him now because obviously he cleared the house when she wasn't there. But there's two ways of dealing with, it's similar to phobias. I remember you've had a programme on that before. There's two ways of dealing with it. There's systematic desensitization and there's flooding. Flooding is where you throw somebody in with their feared object and see what happens. And it's the same sort of thing. If you flood somebody, they never learn why they were hoarding in the first place. They never learn how to rebuild a relationship. They never learn how to keep themselves more organised, keep their mind more organised, keep their emotions organised. However, if you do it systematically, and systematically it can take a lot of time, so you need to be very, very patient as family members, it will empower the person to be able to deal with whatever it was that caused it in the first place.
Because if they don't, the thing is, if you can get someone they'll do it again, because they haven't dealt with the root of the issue.
Exactly.
Clear it all out for them, they're just going to repeat the behaviour.
And there's more space in which to do it. So that's the problem. It's a very tricky one for friends and family, purely because I can see it from the friends and family's point of view. What you're worried about is if somebody's living in that much, with that many things, you worry that it's going to fall on them, that they're going to be suffocated, that they might trip over, they might break something, and you just want to clear it out for them and you want to look after them, and you're worried about whether they're neglecting their own health, if they can't reach the bathroom or they can't get to the kitchen.
So you've just got to really be patient and just give them the support there. Dr. Audrey, thank you so much for joining us again, and we'll see you again very soon. Thank you. All right, guys, so don't go away, because we'll be right back to watch a video where we've got a professional declutterer to help out a member of the public to get his house in order. Now, he didn't have a hoarding problem, but this was just, a bit unorganised, so we can all learn from that, even if we're not going through any kind of issue that we were speaking about earlier. Plus, I'm going to be giving my top 5 ways to declutter your mind. See you in a bit, only here on The Chrissy B Show.